So I want to talk about this Problem Solvers Caucus. Now, we have a Problem Solvers Caucus. We've talked about them before. They are now taking up their own proposal for this infrastructure bill. Now, we're talking about this first infrastructure bill. The first infrastructure bill, that will be roads, bridges, broadband, and then they're going to move from there to the second infrastructure bill, the American Families Plan. That will have more human infrastructure. We'll be talking about different things to help all Americans. So in the Problem Solvers Caucus, you have 58 lawmakers. So they're all in the House, and their job is to try to solve problems. And the reality is every lawmaker in Congress should be problem solvers. They should be problem solvers. But that is not the way things go. We have some lawmakers who want to solve problems, and then we have some other lawmakers who want to create more problems and hopefully gain power by creating problems, by creating chaos. And so right now, the Problem Solvers Caucus, they are talking about this infrastructure bill that they want to put forward. So we're going to take a look and a listen to one of the lawmakers in the Problem Solvers Caucus, and he's going to talk a little bit about what their plan is. But first off, you guys can do me a favor. Please hit the like button. It does help with the YouTube algorithm. Also, please subscribe to the channel. Hit that little bell notification. That way you'll get notified anytime we put out a video. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look and a listen to Mr. Fitzpatrick, and he is on Fox News. Here we go.
Republican Representative Brian Fitzpatrick, the Problem Solvers Caucus co-chair, the state of Pennsylvania. Democrats and Republicans alike trying to find middle ground here to get stuff done. There's a concept. Congressman, I know you have your own proposal you're working on here to try to get these talks started again, but it's a little pricier than the original Republican one, but it might be more to the president's liking. Can you update me?
Yeah, Neil, thanks for having me. It ironically falls squarely between the Republican and Democrat proposals, and that's what our caucus is about solving problems, finding that solution in the consensus area of the center. What we do want to do, though, is make sure it's paid for, and that's going to be in the next phase. But what we did, Neil, essentially, we broke this out into 3 phases. Phase 1 was definition. We made sure that we were dealing with physical and traditional only types of infrastructure. The second phase, which we just released last night, which also got the endorsement of our caucus, which requires 3/4 of the 58-member, 29 Democrat, 29 Republican caucus to endorse, which we did, which is 1.2, but it's over 8 years, not 5. So it's always important to compare apples to apples when you're dealing with these numbers, because some are talking in terms of 5 years, some 8, some 10. And then the next round is going to be the paid fors. But we wanted the president, the administration to know we've brought them into the fold on these conversations. We've been working with a bipartisan group of senators to try to keep this off the rails of reconciliation, which is incredibly divisive and bad for America.
Okay, so they don't have a pay for yet. Now, this is the key here, and this is what I keep talking about when we're looking at all these different proposals and negotiations. We need a pay for. That should have actually been number one, how they plan to pay for it, because we already have numbers thrown out there, and I think their number is somewhere around 1.2 trillion. But the pay for, that's what's important. That's what we need to focus on. That is why they could not come to an agreement with Senator Capito, because of the pay for.
How likely does it look? I know you've come in more in line with the president's numbers. There's hints that the president isn't glued to the $1.7 trillion figure, that with some of the savings he's open to tapping other funds like COVID funds, but not nearly to the degree you are. How realistic is it that a deal can be scored right now?
Well, the House has spoken. Our Problem Solvers Caucus has spoken. We are a centrist bloc of 58 members, and we endorse this plan. Right. So the next thing to watch, Neil, will be the Senate. Kirsten Sinema and Bill Cassidy and some of our colleagues in the Senate that are working together to try something very similar to what we proposed. If it's close enough, we'll marry the two, and then you have a bipartisan, bicameral option for the administration to consider, and I think they'd be hard-pressed to turn that down. The important distinction
there, Congressman, I'm sorry to jump on you, but to make the point that if you were to get those votes, Joe Manchin, who might not like what he's seeing, might not matter in that environment, that you could still cobble together something without him, right?
Yes, sir. I mean, the key now in the Senate is the 60-vote threshold, right? So you got to pick up 10 Republicans without losing any Democrats, and that's always a challenge. But we think we're getting really close to that sweet spot.
All right. So that was Mr. Fitzpatrick talking about the Problem Solvers Caucus and how they're moving forward with an infrastructure bill. But like I said, the key here is the pay for, and then they also have to get senators on board. So this is just the House of Representatives that we're talking about. So we're not even talking about the Senate yet. The Senate is key. You need 10 Republican senators and all of the Democrats to vote for an infrastructure bill in order for it to get passed in the Senate, and then it'll have to move to the House, get passed in the House, and then signed off by the president. But like I said, the key is the pay for. And once we get past this, then we can start focusing on this American Families Plan, and then hopefully we'll start hearing more about different things that they're going to do to stimulate the economy at that point. So if you guys have any questions, post them down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.